Good early afternoon. We are live. Happy New Year. I hope you guys had a good holidays and Christmas and New Year's. Horrible football game yesterday at 4 o'clock. I don't know what to say, so I'll say nothing. My mother said if you can't say nothing good, don't say anything. That's me saying nothing. Well, Heather Olson, how are you doing? Happy New Year. Shared in Utah. Thank you for sharing this to your page. Christy Woods, hello. My sister, Christy. Marcy Crosser Taylor, Happy New Year. Bunch of people joining us. We've got about 200 people in the studio today. We've got all the hot tubs set up. Everybody's in the hot tubs and drinking some stale eggnog. Martin Simmons, hey, how you doing, buddy? Rhonda Klein from Atlanta, glad to have you. Shirley Greenfield Cole. Yeah, so it was a horrible game at 7:45 too. You know, I got to say this. I'm not, trying to say anything rude to anybody in Michigan or Washington, but I can't think of a game I would rather not watch than Michigan and Washington. I know some of our snowbird people are going to be going, what? Well, I'm just saying, Michigan because they beat us and Washington because where are they? I don't even know where they exist. Irene Robinson, Happy New Year to you. You're just sad LSU's not in the mix. David Huco, yeah, y'all too? Yeah, okay. Heather Olson, y'all do need to come back and visit. You can sit in these hot tubs. These people are having a great time. They're fully dressed now, but they're sitting in the hot tubs. It's a cold day here in Orange Beach. Sherry Flowers Merkland, hey, from Cape Coral. Keith Adair from West Virginia, glad to have you with us. A whole bunch of people joining us on here. Edwina English from San Antonio. Billy's Bacon. Really, you guys? Man, you guys are famous. You guys are watching us today? Billy's Bacon is famous. Have you guys ever had any Billy's Bacon? If you haven't, you just hop out of that hot tub and go get it right now because it's the best. It's the best. Georgia Dennis, Happy New Year. Heaven Bullock, Happy New Year. We have had great weather during the holidays. I mean, it's been great. It's been cold, like 50 degrees, which is cold for us, but it was like 39 when I got up this morning. But Happy New Year, Helen. Shirley Greenfield Cole, I agree. It should be Texas and Alabama. And if we could go back into time and make it so, we would. Billy's Bacon, Happy New Year from Fairhope.
I had Billy's Bacon on New Year's Eve with a tomato grilled cheese and Billy's Bacon.
Really?
I did.
Man, that sounds good. Billy's Bacon is just, they're, as you say, like 2 cuts above. So, but Happy New Year to you guys too. Okay, I thought today that we would talk about New Year's and just some traditions of New Year's and how some of this stuff got started. And because we're already, it's January. Is it January 2nd today or 3rd?
Second.
Okay, so everybody's goals are already trashed now. You set your goals on the 1st and you're already over them by now, I'm thinking. Rebecca Peters from Paso Robles, California. New Year's has has a lot of traditions, but they're not as well known traditions as like we have on Christmas and Thanksgiving and that kind of stuff. Because everybody kind of knows about New Year's. Oh, you stay up to midnight, you get New Year in. Dick Clark's in New York City. Oh, Dick Clark died 30 years ago, so it's Ryan Seacrest now, which seems odd to me. But they still call it Dick Clark's Rockin' New Year's Eve. Which, I don't know, how many years do you have to do something to get it named after you forever?
I don't know.
I mean, they don't call Alabama Bear Bryant's Crimson Tide. And when Nick leaves, they're not going to call it Nick Saban's Christmas Tide, but it's Dick Clark's New Year's Eve. He owns the date, evidently. You can thank a pope for making the New Year start on January 1st, though. The Gregorian calendar was introduced in October of 1582 by Pope Gregory the 13th as a revised version of the Julian calendar. And it took almost 350 years for the world to get on board. And Turkey didn't make the switch till 1927. How about that? The baby New Year, you know how they show Father Time going out and the baby New Year? The baby New Year thing is really old. Baby New Year has been a symbol of the holidays since about 600 BC, which is odd to me. But it started in ancient Greece, and an infant was paraded around in a basket. They held him up, Happy New Year. So it was just a celebration. The baby represents a rebirth that occurs at the start of every new year. And speaking of babies, the average number of births per year in the United States on New Year's Eve, and they averaged it the past 40 years, is 10,394, making it one of the rarest birthdays in the United States. Which makes me want to count back 9 months and go, I guess that would make that one of the rarest days for making babies, I guess. So what is 9 months earlier? Come on.
Be March.
Huh?
That'd be March 31st.
Oh, maybe the Ides of March has something to do with it. Maybe that's what they meant. Beware the Ides of March. You're especially fertile then, or especially not fertile then, or something. I don't know. But the first Times Square New Year's Eve party was actually thrown for a newspaper, because the annual tradition of gathering in Times Square for New Year's started as a party to celebrate the opening of the New York Times building. And this was in 1904. And over 200,000 people attended. But the parties, kept going every year. Every year people would go there. But there wasn't a ball drop until 1907. Between 1904 and 1907, you know what they used? Fireworks. Which sounds like, well, that's pretty good, except there were so many people massed together, these burning embers were falling into the crowd and burning people. And so they banned the fireworks, and a ball being lowered on a flagpole was a safer bet. And I don't really understand where the ball on the flagpole comes from. You got a ball on top of the flagpole and it lowers. That doesn't seem very exciting to me. But it's been a spectacle every year since 1907, except for during World War II. Wartime restrictions put this tradition on pause in 1942 and 43, because World War II was in full swing, and the Army worried that New York's gratuitous light displays would make it easy for German subs to spot American vessels, going with that light in New York Harbor. And so the Statue of Liberty's light was put out, the Brooklyn Dodgers stopped playing night games, and Times Square ball drop had to be suspended for 2 years. So in 42 and 43, Times Square people went there and observed a moment of silence at midnight. So, and the Times Square ball, the weight has yo-yoed through the years. And you look at that thing, you think, how much does this sucker weigh? The original ball was made from 700 pounds of scrap iron and wood, and it was later reduced to 400 pounds of iron before they switched to an aluminum frame in 1955. Now, they didn't keep reducing it, because the ball now weighs 11,875 pounds. And it didn't really get its new look until the year 2000, when Waterford Crystal partnered with Philips Lighting to create this shimmery LED display. And Waterford comes up with a new ball pattern every single year. The sphere is made up of 2,688 crystals and has over 32,000 lights. I mean, that's like more than Opryland, I mean, that's pretty amazing. And it displays, now I don't know who figures this out, but they say it displays 16 million color patterns. I don't know that I believe that. I mean, the Crayola box, a big Crayola box only has 64, right? Is that right? The big Crayola box? You remember the big Crayola box, right? Remember the most useless Crayola color in there? White. White. Remember white? I mean, white. You could go over to Carl's house and it would be summertime, and he got that Crayola pack at Christmas, and all of them are worn down to nubs, but that white one is still sharp. It's still sharp. Judith DeWitt, my Andy's right arm is a photo. What is it? This right arm? Oh. Well, does anybody know what that is? What do you think it is? We'll see if anybody can guess. We'll see if anybody may guess. So, Judith, we'll see if anybody can tell. Anybody out there know? Know what that is? You guys are too busy in your hot tubs. Okay, so instead of a ball in Miami, Florida, they ring in the new year with an orange. Now, this isn't just a little bitty orange, this is a big orange. The raising of, they call it Mr. Neon, the 35-foot sunglasses clad metal fruit has been a tradition for 30 years, Mr. Neon. While over in Key West, this is almost ridiculous to say, but in Key West, a drag queen comes down in a shoe. There's a female impersonator named Sushi, which, female impersonator, you name yourself after raw fish, is lowered from a bar rooftop in a giant red high-heeled shoe. And this has been happening since 1996. Okay. Dana Kilpatrick and Scott Rhodes got it. Dana Kilpatrick says The Traveler's Gift, and Scott said David Ponder and Gabriel. That's it. That's the scene from The Traveler's Gift in with the place that, the place that never was in The Traveler's Gift. And believe it or not, Matt created that with AI. I mean, just like described it, and that's what AI came up with, which is like continues to shock me, I guess. But that's it. And that is a moon, and that was not done by AI. The moon was done by God, and I took a picture of it. So, that's it. Hershey, Pennsylvania. Guess what they drop? Yeah, big Hershey's Kiss. Big Hershey's Kiss. Other Pennsylvania towns have traditions that play off their names. In Mechanicsburg, they drop a wrench, which I think is hilarious. In Dillsburg, they drop a pickle. And Mobile, Alabama, drops a huge moon pie. Did y'all know that? There's a town called Intercourse, Alabama. No, there's no information on what they drop on New Year's Eve. But there is one of those. I don't, where is that? I don't know where it is. It don't matter. I'm not going. Foods can be lucky or unlucky on New Year's, according to, I guess according to where you are. Like grapes are supposedly lucky in Spain. And Spanish households carry on the tradition of scarfing down 12 grapes in the first 12 seconds of the new year for good luck. And the grapes represent each month of the year. Now you look at that and you think, who came up with that? See, I'm thinking it's like, some greeting card company came up with Mother's Day and Father's Day. I'm thinking like the wine people, the vineyards came up with that. It's like, hey, we have extra grapes. What are we going to do with them? Oh, let's make them good luck. 12 grapes for everybody at the first. I'm guessing. I don't know how, but it seems like that would have started as a marketing tactic. But, you know what food people say is lucky in America, right? Black-eyed peas. That is just nasty. I just got to say, I don't get. Do y'all eat black-eyed peas? No, me either. Those I don't like anything that is that mushy, and I mean that just can't be good luck. Black-eyed peas, but my wife insists on cooking and eating black-eyed peas every New Year's, and I think we were about year 25 in our marriage before I got the courage up to say, I ain't eating these things anymore. We'll just have bad luck, I guess, because I am not. There's some things I don't like, and there are not many things I don't like, but topping the list of things I don't like is mushy things. I don't like black-eyed peas. I don't like red beans and rice. Don't ever have me to your house. I mean, you can serve red beans and rice, but I'll just sit there and talk to you, and I won't eat them. And I might do like this, so I'll have to look at them. I don't like. And I've never seen any of those black-eyed peas, the dry things that people soak in, then they cook. I've never seen them that didn't look overcooked. Just like, how can mush be good luck? I don't think so. But there are bad luck foods on New Year's, and that's lobster and chicken. Now, I didn't know this, but they're bad luck foods because, according to some superstitious people, a lobster's ability to move backwards and a chicken's ability to scratch itself backwards, if you eat either of them on New Year's Eve, you won't be able to move forward. Now, that sounds kind of superstitious. Are you superstitious? I'm a little stitious. Not super, but a little. I guess bring on the bacon for New Year's. Billy's bacon for New Year's. You know, on New Year's Eve, 1938. All right, now we're coming to the end of this trivia, but this was the coolest New Year's Eve story that I found. On New Year's Eve, 1938, two teenagers crashed the party at the White House. Franklin Delano Roosevelt was having a party at the White House, a private party, and acting on a dare, a 16-year-old boy, Joe Mizell, showed up there at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue on New Year's Eve, 1938, with his date, Beatrice White. And their mission was scoring some autographs from America's first family. And it actually turned out to be pretty easy. Treasury Secretary Henry Morgenthau had two teenage sons who had also been invited to attend this private New Year's Eve bash. And they were invited with their dates. So when the young couple, Joe and Beatrice, show up, Secret Service agents mistook them for one of the Morgenthau boys and their dates and just let them waltz right in. And addressing the president, Mizell said, "Excuse me, Your Honor, but I'm here on a dare from a party and would like to have your autograph." And so FDR found it pretty funny and signed autographs for him. And the First Lady, Eleanor Roosevelt, I don't know how funny she found it, but she gave him an autograph along with a stern lecture on etiquette. How'd you like to get the good news is we got the president's autograph. The bad news is we got cussed out by the First Lady. And then here is my last. This is kind of an ironic fact about New Year's. And this one, I don't know if this makes me mad or it just makes me go, yeah, consider who's doing this, I guess. But every year, the day after New Year's Eve, on New Year's Day, the city of New York has to clean up 50 tons of trash that's left in Times Square. Now, do you guys drive along sometimes? Do you drive along sometimes places and just like see a McDonald's bag and a couple of cups just throw, and you think, who does this? Who throws an empty sack and glass, paper cups and starts just driving around, just throw them out the window? Who does this? And then I think in big crowds, bad behavior gets multiplied. I think in big crowds, people think, I guess But you know, if you're driving along and you're throwing a sack out the window and it blows, because we've seen the evidence of it, and most of us have seen somebody do it, and so you think, what are you thinking? You know, I was several years ago. I was at the Publix parking lot, and there was a guy that had an out of state tag, and was in a pickup truck parked in the Publix parking lot. And as I had parked and I was walking toward, I was going to have to go past his truck to get in the store, and I was probably as far as from me to you, and a sack and some beer cans came out the window, just like landed in the parking lot. And I walked up and I picked him up and threw him in the back of his truck. He got out like wanting to fight, you know. But I was like, oh, I thought it was an accident. Because I know nobody would purposely just throw trash out. I thought it fell out. I was just saving it for you. Yeah, I'm sorry. And I think that confused him so much, he didn't swing at me. Austin and I were down at Robinson Island one time. This was in the summer on a Saturday, and there were and this is where people park their boats and get out and play on the beach and like that. And you know, the cities, the mottos here of Orange Beach and Gulf Shores is leave nothing but footprints, and so there were these look like soccer moms, like 40-year-old women who were dressed very nicely and had kayaks and everything, and they were standing there eating watermelon and just throwing the rinds out on the beach. And we, you know, Austin and I watched them a minute, and yeah, they were really doing that. They were just throwing them out on the beach, and and so I went up to him and I said, "Hey, you guys, what are you doing? Throwing trash out on the beach?" And they said, "Well, it's biodegradable." I'm like, "Yeah, in like 5 years, you know, really?" And they just kept doing it. And I said, "You know what? Where are you guys from?" And they told me. And I said, "You know, we live here. What would you guys think if we just pulled up and got out and in your front yard started eating watermelon, throwing rinds all over your yard, and you came out and said, 'What are you doing?' We said, 'Well, it's biodegradable.' Would that make sense to you?" But you can't talk to people like that, I guess. Hey, Roger Luker. Happy New Year, buddy. By the way, that's, I don't know how much a paper bag weighs, but that's like 1.6 ounces of trash for every person there. Sheila Vance says, "Guess you don't eat pinto beans, baked beans, pork and beans." I do eat macaroni and cheese. I do eat cabbage, turnip greens. I do eat chili and soup. Yes, I am Southern. Your family was poor and you're glad to get those foods. Still love me and my sense of humor. Well, even though you don't like my food habits and you're offended that I would not eat. Now back that up, Matt. Let me say that again. I eat baked beans when I cook them. I eat my baked beans. Mine are just better than yours, I guess. But I don't eat pork and beans out of a can. I do eat macaroni and cheese. I do eat cabbage. I do eat turnips and turnip greens, even though we always call them turnip greens and roots. That's what we always call them. And I eat chili. And yes, I'm Southern. If I wasn't Southern, I wouldn't be upset about the national championship game. So I'm glad, I appreciate that you still love me and my pitiful attempts at humor. But some things are just funny to me. You remember that Dudley Moore movie, Arthur, where he says sometimes I'm just kind of funny to myself? That's kind of me. I can amuse myself quite well by myself. I can look in the mirror and get to laughing. I used to think I was real ugly, but then I realized I wasn't ugly. I'm just not my type. Monica Early, you're late getting here. Happy New Year to you anyway. Monica is our Chief Protocol Officer for Wisdom Harbor. So, it's a new year. And now is the time to take a breath. Not let your history control your destiny. Not let your past pave the way for your future. I think that a new year is a natural time to take a breath and get going again. But it also, if you're going to get going again, it requires kind of forgiveness, It requires that forgiving ourselves or putting down that stick or whip we've been beating ourselves over the back and the shoulders with for things that we did that we wish you hadn't have done, or things that we didn't do that we wish you had done. And you don't want to live a life filled with regret. I think that's why discipline is so important, self-discipline, because I think we tend toward the rewards of discipline or the pains of regret. You can discipline yourself to do something or not do something. By the way, here's a quick word for those of you who are going to lose weight and are starting it now, right? I am not an expert on weight loss, but I am an expert, kinda, on people and tendencies and thinking. And so since even though I'm not an expert on weight loss, I am an expert on keeping the weight off. I can totally, there's a million ways to lose weight. And everybody knows. Yeah, I mean, you can go in any bookstore and find 300 different books. You can go online, find 1,000 different diets. They're all a version of eat less, exercise more. I mean, they're all a version of that. But everybody knows how to lose weight. But evidently, people are not good at keeping it off. I had a guy call me a few years ago, and he was like desperate to lose weight because he said he said, I am really fat. He said, I'm just like really, really fat, and the doctor tells me I'm going to die if I don't get the weight off. And he said, I really never cared, but now I've got a daughter who is handicapped, and he asked he needs to take care of her, and he needs to live longer than she does. And so he said, I lost 100 pounds one time, but he said, I got where, he said, I just can't lose weight. I can't lose weight. I can't lose weight. And I told him, I said, well, a couple of things here. Number one, you can lose weight because you already did. I mean, you did it once. You lost 100 pounds. And now you put it back on. But the issue isn't that you can't lose weight. And so we all know people, perhaps we have been people that have lost weight and then put it all back on. I had to lose 30 pounds one time, and it was hard. But I swore, I said, I will never have to lose 30 pounds again. I'll lose 10 pounds. Okay, but I ain't losing 30 again. I'm like right now, I need to lose about 10 pounds. But here's the key to keeping the weight off. I'm totally serious here. You know how when you're losing weight, you're on the scale every morning or every night. You're on the scale once a day, at least once a day, when you're losing weight. And you look at it and, hey, I lost a pound today, or hey, I lost 3/4 of a pound today. And hey, I lost 3/4 of a pound today. Oh, I lost a pound today. And then you get where you go, hey, I didn't lose a pound. Well, what's going on? And then they say, didn't lose a pound. Oh, I gotta double down here. I gotta walk more. I gotta do something. Okay, I lost a pound. Okay, all right, back on track. And you do that until you've lost 40 pounds or lost 100 pounds or 150 pounds or 80 pounds or whatever it is. You do that, and then you're proud of yourself. You feel better. I got a buddy right now that just lost 69 pounds. Jeff Easter. He'll tell you. I mean, Jeff Easter, the singer. Look him up on YouTube. The Easters. Awesome, Grammy Award winning singers. And Jeff Easter lost 69 pounds. And I shared this with him. I said, all right, Jeff, here's the thing. Keep it off now. Yeah, he said, I know I got to keep it off. Okay, all right, so here's the deal. Here's how you keep it off. You know how you lost it. So now, the reason people gain it all back is they quit standing on the scale every day. Stand on the scale every day. And so if you're at 180 and you got down to 180 from 250, and now you're at 180, and you stand on that scale, and you go, okay, I'm 180, and the next day I'm 180, and the next day I'm 179, next day I'm 180, and then the next day you're 181, okay? Next day you're 181, next day you're 182. Now here's the thing. If you lose 50 pounds or whatever, I'm not saying you have to live your life without chicken and dumplings. I mean, you ain't got to live your life without ever eating cake again. But stay on the scale every day. And if you lost 80 pounds, it's okay to gain 5, but just remember, it's easier to lose 5 than it is to lose 80. Stay on the scale every day. Just every single day, and watch it. Because anytime somebody gains 10 pounds back, I guarantee you it was a surprise to them. Because they weren't doing the same. Some people say, well, why can't you just live your life in moderation? Why can't you just live your life, why can't you just establish a diet and eat that diet the rest of your life? Well, what fun is that? And so I kind of say, just do the same things. Do the same thing to monitor it. because, I don't want to stay alive bad enough to think that I wouldn't get to eat chicken dumplings anytime in my life. I don't want to be alive that bad. And so I'm going to eat chicken and dumplings, but I'm going to watch it. And, I can eat chicken dumplings one day and carrots and popcorn the next. But there is a way to get this done. And anytime, just take this as your parting shot. Anytime you get to a point that you can't, that something's not working, there's something you don't know. That's all it is. It's just something you don't know. And so, getting online, talking to friends, finding ideas, because all this is, the thing to stay on the scale after you lost the weight, that's just an idea. That's just something I never heard anybody talk about it, but it's something I thought of, and it works. And so it's not rocket science, and it's not rocket surgery or brain science, either way. But you can do it, and it'll work. So we'll be back Thursday. Thursday's the Wisdom Harbor Day, where we broadcast only to members of Wisdom Harbor. We hope you have joined or are joining. It's very inexpensive and it's awesome. Wisdom Harbor creating the next greatest generation, starting with your family, your hometown, and your school system. And we will see you Thursday. Thanks for being with us. Happy New Year again. Bye-bye.